Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Happy Saturday. All right, before I even begin, whoever jumps on, I'm going to ask if you can hear me properly. I did a live a little bit earlier today, and I know they were having trouble, they said, hearing me, but when we looked at the video, it was okay. So first thing, if anybody jumps on, thank you for joining me, first of all. Happy Saturday. It is a little bit overcast here in Central Florida, and it is chilly. It feels really nice though for like getting into the spring. And today I'm having my friend Rory Lawrence. Okay, Rory and I went to Job Corps together. I've known him since I was 18 years old. I was thinking today, dang, I've known him since I was 18. Like if you watch the last live I did with Angie, I also met her at Job Corps, and so we are part of that old group we call Job Corps. Because there's an old Job Corps and a new Job Corps. So we've known each other since the old Job Corps. Let's see if I can find. All right. When I see him jump on, I'll invite him in. But just to let you know, so Rory is an actor, a director, and a producer in Tampa, Florida. And he said he's trying to figure out, oh, let's see, Rory. If you can jump on the live, Rory, hopefully you can hear me. If anybody jumps on, if you could say hello and let me know that you can hear me clearly, I would appreciate it so much. All right. So Rory, like I was saying, is an actor and a producer, and he has, I think, so many stories, obviously, you could imagine, right, to share with us as he became that, when we were in Job Corps, which I'm going to find out. I don't even remember what he actually studied in. And like really none of us who studied back then what we did in Job Corps is doing that. If there's anybody watching and you did go to Job Corps with me, let me know. Okay, let's see. So Rory, if you can see me on right now in the comment section, can you type here or something in the comment section? Hi, Richard. Thank you for jumping on. And whoever else is looking, thank you for joining me today. I'm bringing my friend Rory on as soon as we figure out how and what's happening. Rory, if you hear me, say hi in the comments. That way I can see you on there and I can try to bring you on camera. All right, guys, you know, it's a learning process and the lives are pretty new to some of us, so bear with me a moment here. Let me see. Sometimes we have to take take 2 or take 3. We'll see here in a moment. Okay, there he goes. Bam. And here we go. Drum roll, please.
There it is.
Hey, there you go. Hey.
Gotta love technology.
Oh man, see, but you figured it out. We figured it out. We always keep trying until it works out. How
Yeah,
you doing?
doing good. I think it was a little delay initially when I was trying to get on there.
Okay, but it's
But,
working good now. I can hear you good. Can you hear me?
oh yeah, I hear you.
Okay. What's up? First.
Oh my gosh, man. What's going on with you? I see we both got
Oh
these
man.
grays. We got these grays now. Look at you.
Don't worry. Look, my friend. It's all up in
I
here
know.
too. Look. Vaughn
It's
has them all
wisdom.
over too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Oh,
experience. Yeah.
yeah,
It's experience.
wisdom.
So I was just telling everybody, like, we know each other. I've known you since I was 18 at Job Corps when we first met at the old Job Corps. I have to say now because I also went to the one once it moved out of Flagler. Um,
Mhm.
and a lot of us went to school. What we studied in at the time, because I did culinary arts and I still cook, but not professionally. What
Yeah,
did you study? I can't even remember. Introduce yourself. Tell me who you are.
yeah. Well, to answer your first question, I studied hotel motel operations,
Oh,
which
that's right.
which actually when I left, I worked at the Sheraton for about 5 years, and
Oh, okay.
after that, so I kind of did do something with it, but that's what I did. But
Yeah. It took a lot of us to the next step, like whatever we're doing now, it kind of took them to the next step, to the next step. But so
it's
tell me, go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
it's just like when you go to college. A lot of people go to college and stuff, and they end up not even working in the field that they get a degree
Yeah.
in because
Yeah.
It's not their passion. It's the, it's a job. So,
Yeah. That's
but
what I've
to
been
answer your
talking to my
question,
daughter about.
oh,
Yeah.
to,
Go ahead.
you want, well, you want me to just go straight into it, but the theater, or just me personally, or what?
You personally, like, I want to know, like, what, because I'm really curious. I've never even knew you had a passion for acting when we were in Job Corps. I think I told you that before. So, what kind of like always, and then you said it was always there, but I guess you never really talked about it much, or at least I don't remember it.
Yeah.
What kind of made you go into acting, and how come, you do what you do now?
Yeah,
What's passionate?
it's funny because when we first met, I mean, acting, film, theater, none of this stuff was nowhere in my mind or in my heart at all. It was
Okay.
just, I did it in high school and it was fun, and I had to do I had to pick an elective, and drama was one of them. And I liked the drama teacher. So I'm like, I can get involved in this. And believe it or not, even though I was, a clown and cutting up, I was, not shy, but shy getting in front and speaking to people on the stage.
Yeah.
And I remember the first play I was in, it was Barefoot in the Park. I played the telephone man. It was a comedic part, so that's why I didn't mind doing it. It was funny because some people may be familiar with the book, the play, or the film. They lived in a this apartment, but it was like 100 flights to get up to. I mean, not literally 100 flights, but it was
Yeah.
a bunch
Yeah.
of flights, up. So everyone who went up was tired. And so when I got in there, my teacher, she's like, "Only thing you have to do is come in breathing heavy and just try to be funny." And so I went in and I got in there, and I think it was 10 seconds of me being in front of all those people. When I heard the response and the laughter and the cheering and stuff, I was like, I kind of like this. It was pretty cool. And
Yeah.
so then I went on to be a thespian. A thespian is basically uh, a higher drama class in school or whatever. And we travel and competed against other schools with short plays and stuff like that. But then once I
Oh.
got out of, you know, high school, that was it. I mean, it was a distant memory for me. It was just something fun to do. And as you know, we met in Miami in school,
Yeah.
and I rarely ever talked about any of that at all because it was just something that we did. But how I got
Mm-hmm.
back into it, it was funny because it's like years later, because I always did enjoy film and theater, and I would go to plays, and none of my peers were, they're like, "You going to a play? You going to?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
just just check it out." So I would do stuff like that because you ain't got a whole at the time. You ain't got a whole bunch of brothers from the hood going to see a Raisin in the Sun. You just don't.
Yeah, it
And
just didn't
so
happen.
yeah, so I was, as you know, I was heavily involved in my church, helping outreach ministry, doing a lot of stuff, and I got really involved and got in leadership and got into ministry. And I remember after I was literally um, ordained, I met with my pastor and I was like, "Hey, I love this stuff and I like learning what I'm learning, but I'm not called to be a preacher or a pastor." I said, "This is
Yeah.
not my platform." And he
Yeah.
laughed, and I was like, "Well," I'm like, "What are you laughing at?" He said, "Well, I've known you for years, and with your personality and what how you are," he said, "Whatever you choose to do, you'll reach people that I can't reach." And he said, "What do you think you're going to do?" And I'm telling you the truth. I just randomly said, "I'm going to start going to acting school." He said, "Oh, okay."
Wow.
He gave me. I hadn't. When I said I hadn't even thought of going to acting school,
Yeah.
it just came out. And he
Yeah.
said, "Okay, I'll give you my blessings." And then next week I went to start. I didn't even know what acting school was. I started looking for an acting school, and I found an acting studio in St. Pete. And that's when it started. I started just going to class there a few times a week, and they teach you how to act. They teach you theater, and they also teach you film, and what you're supposed to do. And that's when I realized, even though what I did in high school was nothing like when you're
Yeah.
trying to get into community or professional theater and stuff out here. I mean, there's so many things that I've learned now, about the craft.
Yeah.
People can't even fathom. Acting is not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I
It's
and
fun. It
no,
depends on what you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, no, no. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, for me, like, in the context too of me understanding what acting is too, it's like a lot of emotions you have to learn to like conjure up your emotions like on the spot, or choose the emotion, I guess, or the whatever you're trying to. For me, like I always wanted to take acting class because I wanted to learn how to control my emotions, to conjure up
Well,
that
yes.
emotions.
It won't. It, acting class will not help you control
It
your
won't.
emotions. If anything, you'll probably lose your mind in there. And that's why.
I
But
thought
no,
it
no.
would
What
be
happens is
helpful. Go
it's
ahead.
different. It's different styles of methods of acting. You got different, and people who are in the industry now say, you have Stanislavski, the method acting. You have Eric Morris. You have um, it's so many different ones, and I think I've touched like involved in uh, four of them or whatever. Just and people
Yeah,
swear by one, and this is the only one. This is the best one. Or this is yeah, and I don't
kind of
agree
like
with that. I think
church.
because I use a combination of I use a combination of whatever I need at the time and being in the moment. When you say something key, you know when you have to get those moments, it's called making a choice. When you make a choice and you just follow that choice in the direction that you're doing in that scene or that monologue or whatever. Because a lot of people, so I get people come to me all the time saying, "Hey, you need to put me on one of your shows. I can cry on cue." I'm like, that's probably because you're depressed. Anybody cry got nothing to do with you being able to act. I mean,
Yes,
because a lot of people,
it's so much more than that. Yeah.
it's so much more than that. Because sometimes stuff ain't, people, that's the first thing they'll say. I don't know why people, that's their go-to. Like, I can cry if you need me to cry. I'm like, no, I need you to be believable. I need for people to believe that you're the
Yes.
character that you're supposed to be portraying. And I had to learn that. It's not easy, man. It's not easy. So
I went to one of your plays. One of my friends, I think, surprised me and got me tickets to go to one of your plays, and I thought it was pretty dang amazing. That
which
was
one
I
was
don't
it?
remember. I don't remember. That's when I first met your wife too. I believe it was the first. It was the only play I've been to. It was in Tampa, and she
It
took me. Do you
was it a
remember? I don't.
comedy?
I think
Or
so. Yes.
was it one when I played a lawyer or
You really didn't act in it. I think you played like a little part in it. You were more directing and everything
oh
else too. Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
I know
Do
I
you
haven't
remember
seen you. What? Do I remember
so
what?
I have no idea which one that might have been.
But so you still have plays in Tampa now, right?
Yeah, what we do, well, thanks to COVID right now, everything is kind of like, on hold. But
Yeah. Can you do one on
but so
camera? You should do one on camera, play on
see
camera.
see a lot of people are trying to go, virtual with plays and operate like that. And they are, but my thing, and I don't think this will ever change, you just can't replace live theater. You can't. It's nothing like being in live theater. That's the whole point. I mean,
Yeah.
the emotions to me, the emotions even don't even come across from
It's different. It is
it's way different
in a
than being
play.
there or what have.
Yeah.
Because when you're in live theater, so much crazy stuff happens, so much bad stuff happens, so much fun stuff
Yeah.
happens. When you're live, you
Yeah.
never know. It's an experience. That's one of our mottos. Our saying is like not a performance, but experience. So when people come, whether it's a comedy, whether it's drama, or whether it's faith based, that we expect it to do something that's going to move the people and affect the people and let them.
Yes.
So we've had some pop. My play that I wrote, um, Fighting God. It's about me and the guy who plays my brother. I play a really strong atheist, and we touch all types of stuff. We touch rape. We touch I'm me of all people. I'm in there attacking and killing the church and the pastors and dogging them, dogging them
Oh
out. And
man.
we didn't know what to expect when we did that show. Um, we the first time we did it, it was so many people afterwards like wanting to talk and they were crying and stuff and had issues. Some people, and they were saying how they had thought about suicide or had been raped and molested. So when we did it the next night, we had to bring in material for people could call if they was going through stuff like that.
Wow.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we've experienced some really good stuff through the different
So it
shows and what
sounds
happened.
like what the pastor said to you, that you were going to reach people in a different way, and a different, maybe
Exactly.
even audience actually really took place. It really did. It really, it's still
Exactly.
happening.
I
Yes.
think neither one of us understood what he was saying at the time, but after the fact, it hit me
Even
like,
you not even
yeah,
knowing that was acting, but
hmm
like your spirit. I mean, and that's
yep,
one of the things I want to say from the beginning too of us knowing each other, was that was at the time too when I kind of dove into the church too. And so I
hmm
think even throughout all these years, no matter what, we've always been on this search and connection with
yeah,
God, right? For however you
yeah,
call it. For me,
yeah,
just sometimes even but that, and so by being led by that spirit was guiding you and kind of
yeah,
just like you didn't even know what it was, and spirit said, and you went to it because you could have just said it and went and go look for a job in a hotel.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But your spirit led you and you went into that. And that's something that you love, that has brought out that love for you now, right? Obviously, it's a passion for you.
Yeah, what the thing with how it works with me, Prudence, is that I've come to the place where I've accepted that even though right now a lot is on hiatus and standstill or whatever, I think what happens as you're on your spiritual journey, God shows you your purpose. And
Yes.
I've been able to blessed to stand before thousands of people, you know, throughout the years on a platform. And now I realize the platform is not just to be up there and mess around or whatever. It's for a purpose. It's not because
Yes.
anybody could get up and say, hey, I want to start doing plays and this and that. I mean, it may
Yeah.
not work because, I mean, like I said, I'd be here forever telling you all the great stuff and all the trials and tribulations and that we went through to get to where we are and where we're going.
Yeah.
But I think that, initially for me, I didn't see a huge purpose in it. I saw it was something I wanted to do. It'd be fun. But then when you start seeing that you're affecting people's lives. Now we do I did a comedy and I had a gentleman come up to me after the play because we do something called talkbacks where we let people ask questions about the play, especially if
Oh,
it's one
nice.
original that I've written. It's funny. It can get
Yeah.
crazy too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And they asked questions, and then afterwards, guy came up to me. He was him and his wife. He was tears in his eyes, crying. I'm like, and I knew the dude. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He said, man, let me tell you something. He said, tonight was the first time my wife and I have laughed together in a year because they was going through so much stuff.
Wow.
And he said, we're going
Wow.
to be here to support what you do. And they've been there
Oh
supporting him,
my
supporting me the
goodness.
entire joint. Because like I said, you never know what's out there in the
Yes.
audience, and you never know what you're going to
Yes.
come across. And it's
Same here
amazing. But
too. Yeah.
yeah. But so
To know
like
that
I
you're
said, it's
touching
grown.
people's lives. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, we're talking over each other. And it's like a little delay, but that's cool.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, with the as far as my journey goes, this is how we started. I was out auditioning for stuff because my acting
Hmm.
coach was like, I'm telling you, this is how, I mean, I don't, like I said, I wasn't shy, but I was just hesitant to get in front of people.
Yeah, you were never shy.
Yeah, you would think, I wouldn't be hesitant to get in
Yeah.
front of people, but after being in class for over a year, my acting coach, she was like, when are you gonna go audition for something? And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to learn more. And she's like, quit lying. You need to go out and audition. So I started going out. I was intentionally looking for small parts and plays or whatever, and I would find some here and there. But then as I got to the point where I felt that I was getting stronger in my skills, I remember how it happened too. I was at an acting workshop that Tasha Smith was doing in Atlanta. Tasha Smith is the
Hmm.
one who's in all the Tyler Perry movies.
Yes,
She
I
plays the angry black
remember.
woman. Why did I get married? And me and her,
Yes.
actually, her and I became friends. But when I left that weekend, I had learned so much, and I came back and I was really looking for parts, bigger parts. Then I realized it wasn't a whole bunch of stuff out there for that fit me or for black males in these plays because they weren't really
Yeah.
doing. When you see theaters now, when they have their seasons, you see plays that are they're not original plays. They're plays that people have been doing for years. You know what I'm
Remakes.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you go to any big theater, they're doing the same. They know Wicked and
Yeah, yeah.
all these other plays or local plays, just even like A Raising the Sun or different plays.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I went to a local one with oh, I forgot the blind lady that she was blind, deaf, and dumb. I forgot her name, but it was a play and it was amazing.
mhm,
Oh, she's so well known. If somebody knows her name, type it in here. But she's blind, deaf, and dumb, and she learned how to read Braille, and she was able to read and like get like she ended up writing books and all this kind of stuff. They did a play in it locally, and that was really I love plays because, like you said, it
Yeah,
feels different than even when you watch a movie. But go ahead. Yeah. So in the
yeah,
play.
it's like people ask me because I do, I have a agent, a couple of that send me out for auditions for film and TV and stuff like that. And I heard a quote. I think it was several people. I don't say it was Denzel Washington. It was somebody. It was like, well, what's the difference? But what do you with film and theater? He's like, well, he said, film. When I do that, it feeds my ego. He said, theater feeds my soul. And so
Oh wow.
that's how I feel. I feel like when you it's you can't really explain when you're out there on the stage live
It's a
doing stuff,
soul
and
thing for you.
it,
Yeah.
it's peaceful and terrifying all at the same time, or what
Yeah,
have you. But
I mean, kind of like doing this for me, like for me, like I've always had a passion too with just helping people in whatever form, right? And then the way this unfolds for me too is kind of similar in the sense with I was just doing it because it was something that was naturally happening anyways, and it was just, people were reaching out and I would talk to them, and then I realized like how much joy I was getting out of it. And like something like you
yeah,
said too, like when you find yourself in this joyful place, I feel like things just start flowing more easily, and you kind of know
hmm
that that's the direction. It's like kind of like when you want to move or you want a job or you're trying so hard and it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. You kind of like let go, and then
hmm
you said, let me just concentrate. I've done work. Okay, let me just do something that I like in the meantime, whether it's posting or for me, on Facebook or whatever, talking to people. And that's where I was finding joy at talking with people. And I was like, this is my calling. It is to help people in this form because I always know, all of us want to be teachers and healers and give back once we recognize that power within, within
hmm
us, whether however God or whatever you call it, you want to share that with other people. So I think that's one of the things I get from what you're saying too is like when you follow your passion, you connect with your spirit, your spirit, or you allow your spirit to move in you, right? Even when you don't know quite what it
yeah,
is, your spirit will lead you to that direction
yeah.
and then open up doors for you to take those steps for you
Yep,
to
yep.
yeah,
Let's
and to
let me
bless
tell
other
you.
people.
Yeah, let me tell you something. What people don't understand is like I don't fit in with the status quo of theater people
Hmm.
because I mean, it's honestly here in Tampa is a huge community of it. And my mentor, who recently passed away, she was an elderly white woman, and she looked at me.
Oh,
She
I
said,
remember
and she
posting.
told me, she's like, Roy, you're an anomaly. You're a younger black dude doing this
Yeah,
among, which is predominantly older white males. She said even as white females have a hard time getting in and doing whatever. And
yeah,
to speak to what you said about the peace that you have and doors opening up for you, let me tell you something. Everything that almost everything we started doing, we did it out of ignorance. We did not know
yeah.
how to do this theater stuff. We didn't know how to produce, to book all this stuff, and and we just didn't. But
Just
as we just stepped out, God opened up doors. Like for example,
take one
I
step
wanted
and
to
the
do
next one. That's go
exactly
ahead. Yeah.
after doing all these plays, after starting the theater company, and doing these plays and writing and all this kind of stuff. We wanted to, and we a lot of people are not familiar with this, but there's theater festivals that goes on throughout the country. Basically, what it is, they have a festival once a year or once every 2 years at different places
Yeah.
where they want original artists, works, writings. You submit it, and if they like it, they invite you to come and compete with your play against other writers. So I went to my play, Fighting God, was accepted
Hmm.
to a festival in DC and in Atlanta the same year. And so
Oh,
we went, and it was a great experience. We even learned from the bad stuff. And so
yeah.
after that, I wrote another play. It was accepted to another theater festival. I mean, because it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of plays that get
Okay.
submitted, and they pick like 40. And so
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
yeah, and so when we got there, it was a great experience. So then one day coming back, I was like, I'm like, why don't we have a festival in Tampa? We don't really. So I started looking around, didn't see anything. I let it go. And then one day I was downtown. I was on my way to the gym, and I saw all these. I mean, all these kids in the street, and I mean, this. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So me being me, I started looking into it, whatever, and I found out that they were thespians from high school, like I was,
Yeah.
here for a theater festival, but it was for high schools. So I knew the lady at the theater downtown. So when I said, "Hey, what's going on?" She told me about it. And I said, "Oh." So then we started looking into, I got with my team, I said, hey guys, why don't we do a festival
Do one.
here in
Yeah.
Tampa because it hasn't been done. Let me back up a
Yeah.
little bit. I was a part of a theater group that I had joined, and we met once a quarter, all these different theater companies, and we'll talk about what, we can do to help each other or whatever. And then one day I got up, I said, hey, Tampa doesn't have a theater festival. Why don't you? I had no idea of starting a theater festival. I had no plan to. I said, why don't, you guys do a theater festival, and I do what I can to help out on the back end and, help with the shows, whatever. And to be honest, they just shot the idea down there. Oh, we don't know if people come, or, we tried to do something like that before and it just didn't work. So that scared me. I was like, well, who am I? They know they've been doing this for years. So next quarter we met, and I couldn't let it go. It was just in my spirit. I brought up again. I'm like, hey, still talking about this festival thing. Anybody want to try and do this festival thing? And they were like, no, not really. I think one or two people say, hey, what is your vision? I was like, I don't know. And she's like, well, when you find out, let us know. I wouldn't mind helping out. So then I got with my team, which was like other actors. I said, look, y'all, let's try to do this. Long story short, we met and was like, we're just going to make it a weekend, a 3-day event. It starts Friday, it ends Sunday evening with a big party. At least that was our vision. And I never forget, because we didn't know what we were doing. We knew how to put on the play, but we didn't know how to schedule all this stuff, because there's people coming from, across the state and other states.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the weekend consisted of short plays, full-length plays, monologue competitions, and then we had like social gatherings. So we put it all together, and we partnered. We got support, and this is what I mean when you're supposed to do something, how God looks out for you. We had no money and no venues. And we ended up. So I called the biggest theater in Tampa, the Strat Center. I said, hey, Tampa doesn't have a theater festival. Other states do. Why don't we? And it was like, we just don't have it. I said, well, if we're trying to do one, will you guys, help us out with us being able to facilitate? And the stress is huge. And I said, we just need to know what it would cost us. And she said, okay, let me get back to you. I get that all the time. Let me get back to you. Let me get back to you. And we only had no money in the business account for that. And so we just needed to see what they would charge us, and so we can get sponsors or whatever. So they called us the next day. They called me back. They said, hey, we want to come on as a sponsor. You can use this and that. And I asked her, I said, okay, so what can we use and how much is going to cost us? And she said, you can use whatever, and it's not going to cost you a dime.
That's amazing.
Like, what? So we started planning. We started planning, and the day we was trying to sell tickets, and I never forget this. This is what encouraged me, Prudence. That's what I'm saying. So if you're called to do something, you just have to do it. Through faith, walking out, even if you don't see it yet. So, because we walk by faith, not by sight. So we're in there. It's the night before. We had barely sold any tickets, and here I am. Here I am as the leader of the team. You can't let your team know that you're sweating and freaking out. We got all these people coming in. So I looked at my team, and I'm like trying to get up. I said, well, guys, you know what? This is the first year it hadn't been done. So if we only get a few people to come, even the theater community, and people were saying, that, hey guys, even if you only get like 20 people to show up, it's a win. And we were like, that's cool, but that's not what we want. And we were looking at the ticket sales. The next morning, the doors opened. We had several workshops. We couldn't stop. We were not prepared for the flow of people that was just coming in.
That's amazing.
Everything started selling out. The workshops, the plays, and it was nuts. Even the awards party, which was the most expensive thing because people dress up nice and whatever, and come out to it. And the news media was showing up every day. They're like, what is going on?
I remember I seen you on the news. I seen you on the Tampa news. I seen that.
And the dude was like, what are you doing? Who are you? Because they was like, who's starting this? They pointed at me, and the guy came over to me with the mic, and I was like, this is our festival. And then we started getting these huge write-up in the papers, and then I never forget after the weekend, which made me feel good. It wasn't me boasting. After the festival, it was huge right up in the paper. I had my picture up there,
Yeah.
and it was a big story. And the dude said this because he had a background of theater. He said after all the years of being in Tampa, we have not had a theater festival, and we have one now. He said, but my question is, why did it take a no name like Rory Lawrence, who came out of nowhere, to show all of our local theater people how to do a festival?
That's amazing.
I
I
know.
want I
And I was
want to
like,
jump in real quick because there's so many good things that you touched on that I want to come back to real quick and bring it up to the. So like from the time that you said that you went out there, that you the curiosity popped into your head for the kids to pass by, right timing and all of that perfection, for you, for that passion to put inside of you. What I love that you said is that you're used to hearing people always saying, "I'll get back to you, I'll get back to you." But you kept that nudge that was in your heart to try to see, well, let's just see the possibility. And it's so funny that in your story you're telling me it was like God had put it in your heart for you to do it, but you were like, well, let's see if they can do it. Maybe they can do it better because I don't have enough experience. But it
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
originally ordained for you to do it. So even when they
Hmm.
told you no, you kept it was still there. You kept pushing a little bit. You kept trying to find out
Yeah.
more information. And just by taking the steps, I've realized in my life too, when you take those steps, even when you don't know what it is, like you said, the next step and then another step will open up. That's for me synchronization, the
Yeah. Yeah.
synchronization for things to just flow in a way more easier way than you thought or planned for
Hmm.
it to go to.
Yep.
Just like for the people to give you the place at no cost and the
Yep.
expectation that you put out there was like, let's just see what happens. And it exceeded beyond that because you did. I seen you on the news. I seen you on the papers. I was like, oh shit, look at my friend blowing up. So it was amazing. I love that. And I love that. That's, you know what I mean? That's your the goal here is to give back in a sense that, and you're not even purposely doing it. I think by automatically just being yourself, you're giving
Yeah.
back to people. People is touched by your lessons and your plays that you're putting in them. So do you still do classes or plays or anything like that? I know you said because of the COVID right now. If people wanted to reach out to you to find out if they were
Well,
actors,
well, I don't
go
teach
ahead.
class. What I do right now because
Okay.
of COVID, and it's getting close to where some theaters they
Yeah.
have opened up with social distancing or whatever. I'm just waiting to see what happens. But I have two new plays that I've written and I'm retweaking or what have you and working on. So I'm doing that. And I did want to say this also. You'll get, you know this, Prudence. If you're called to do something, even when you feel like I'm not supposed to be doing this or you have doubt, you'll start getting confirmations. And I
Yeah.
started getting, and man, people were blown away because we wouldn't let them know our secrets, and I still won't.
Yeah.
How we have celebrities who come from LA to speak at the festival. And we become really good friends with Harry Lennox. I don't know if you're familiar with Harry Lennox.
The
You are,
name
you know
sounds
who he,
from. It
he
sounds familiar.
he's in the Five Heartbeats. Oh, the Blacklist, the TV show Blacklist.
Oh yes. Okay. Yes.
His name is Harold in there, I believe. And he's in Superman and all those movies and stuff like that. So I've built a great relationship with him. And like I said, Tasha Smith and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It just flows.
Backs up.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
backs up
It just
what
flows.
it backs up each other like you're on the right path.
Yeah.
Rory, thank you so much for coming on. I'm gonna get ready to wrap it on. I wanted you, do you have like a link for when you do have plays and stuff like that? People can reach out to you if they wanted more information. If anybody's
Yeah.
in Tampa and they wanted when you
Yeah.
are having plays, I might have some actors here on All Things Possible, actresses
Yeah. It's
that would like to know more. Go
I
ahead.
tell you what, the easy thing is, well, my website is just my name, RoryLawrence.com. That's it.
Okay.
That's my
Well,
set. Now
I
they can Google Tampa Bay Theater Festival and it'll pop up and you'll see that also.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Oh my God, that's so cool. But just in case, still leave a link in the
Okay.
comments here so
I
people,
do it.
because sometimes people is like, I don't remember or they didn't whatever. So just leave your link in the comments here when we're finished right here.
Okay.
Thank you so much for taking this time to talk and share some of your journey with me. I know most of it, but there's details like that I didn't know about it, and it
It's
encourages
so
me and it encourages other people. So thank you for sharing that with us.
well, we're close by each other, so we gotta get lunch and I can tell you a whole
I
bunch of
come
stuff.
to Tampa pretty much all the time now because I have a friend over there. Have you ever seen I tag this place called Torre Pizza? It's over there in
Mm-mm.
Clearwater. It's
Oh
so
no.
I go over there pretty often. I have a friend that comes in from Colorado, and we meet up there in Tampa and stuff like that. And I was
Okay.
just in Tampa. You know, that's where we got to go to the beach here because I live here in Polk County, where you grew up at.
You where
And you
I'm
know, there's
from?
no beach. Yeah, where you're
No,
from.
not at all.
Oh, thank you,
Not at all.
Deborah. Deborah put your link in the. She already put your link in there,
Awesome.
Deborah. You're
Awesome.
awesome. Oh, and there goes your beautiful wife. Ah, she did it too.
Kalila, put the theater festival website in there. It's
Yes.
TampaBayTheaterFestival.com.
Thank you. All right. Awesome. Again,
Oh
thank you
yeah.
so much for coming on. You guys, you can check Rory out. All the links are there. Everybody's put them there for you guys. If you want to know more about theater, about the Tampa Festival, there's the link. Thank you guys so much for joining me this Saturday. I hope you have a blessed weekend.
Thanks, Chris. This was good. This was fun.
Yes. Thank you too. All right.
All right.